officers, it is an honor to call you officers. You have reached this moment in your lives through hard work, and I want to congratulate you all for what you have achieved. This is a historic day in your lives. It is a day your city thanks you.
Well, the story should have been the graduation of 900 police cadets at a ceremony at Madison Square Garden. Instead, the booing of the mayor, the headline when he spoke at the graduation. Of course, this coming just days after officers outside of Queens Church turned their backs on the mayor as he spoke at the funeral of Officer Rafael Ramos. The heads of the police union meet with the mayor in less than 2 hours. Here to talk about that and the current state of affairs, Wally Zeins joins us. Wally spent 30 years as a member of the NYPD, working himself up to detective sergeant. He is now a reporter talking about police issues. Good afternoon, Wally.
Good afternoon.
Gotta say, isn't that a step down actually to go from law enforcement to the media?
Well, you know, it gives me an opportunity to be close to the action on the street. You know, the NYPD was my second family.
Yeah.
And a great department.
And we appreciate your insight. All right, let's talk about what's going to happen at that meeting. Again, it's going to happen at 2 o'clock today. What do you anticipate is going to happen as the mayor kind of stares down these 5 police heads, these union heads?
Well, you know, it's not so much going to be anything about looking for union contracts or anything. The mayor was fostering an anti-NYPD atmosphere in the city from the time he ran his campaign to presently where he is today. And they want to be on the same page. All the different unions want to be on the same page within NYPD, but they want the mayor, they want to believe enough, want to know that he will work with them. I mean, when he had Al Sharpton at his side, I mean, that is such a slap in the face to everybody, especially with Bill Bratton, who has 44 years of police history behind him and is a great administrator. To have him next to him, and Al Sharpton is honestly, I got to say, is a dirtbag. He stirs the pot. And the police are very, very upset, not only in New York City, throughout the whole United States.
So, Wally, it sounds like that you believe turning their backs on the mayor, also the booing, it's warranted.
It's warranted in the First Amendment, you know, and again, there are individual opinions that go along with that. The individual opinions are from, you know, different police officers. There are some police officers that won't turn their back. But again, that's their opinion. The police are very, very upset, but keep one point in mind. No matter how upset the NYPD is, they will still respond to save life and property when called upon.
Now, what do you think is going to happen at 2 p.m.? Do you think that the mayor will apologize? Is that enough, do you think, for the police officers?
It's not enough, but I do think the mayor will apologize. He'll sit down with them. It's a closed-door meeting. I think he will have the police commissioner, of course, with him. And the police commissioner, keep in mind, the police commissioner serves at the pleasure of the mayor, just as every supervisor above the rank of captain serves at the pleasure of the police commissioner. So, you know, it's going to be a Boy Scout syndrome there. The mayor is the police commissioners do everything he can to be like a hostage negotiator. You got to get both sides from rational to irrational on an equal balance plane. Everyone has to participate. And I think if they can sit down and work out some of the things that are going on right now, things will change. Remember, the mayor came into this thing, to this administration with stop, question, and frisk. That was his big thing, his big campaign. He was going to reinvent the NYPD. Then we got into a situation when we had all these protesters come on, and when the alleged, and I use that word in quotes, attack on the Brooklyn Bridge with 2 police officers, 2 lieutenants, in fact, who got assaulted, and you can see it in black, white, and color. And he says it's alleged. And then he's speaking to his son and talking about how he should be when he's confronted with the police and the grand jury decision over the Gardner case. All these things create big problems. And let me tell you something, the police department, there are two civilizations in our country, you know, and you have to learn how to speak fluent cop. And cops and civilians are 2 areas. And when you get the both of them together, when the mayor, who is a civilian, can talk to the police in their language and the police in his language, we will have some sort of opportunity to have some better understanding and work better together. We have to. You have to understand one last thing, is that is if the mayor, if we lose the city economically, tourism will drop, the economy will drop, and the whole world will be affected by it. And more police departments throughout the world are seeing what's going on today.
Wally, you mentioned what the mayor did that was wrong. What should politicians be saying right now? It seems like there's a vacuum of leadership in this particular area when it comes to race and also law enforcement dealing with some of these communities.
I think that, the mayor should take some advice from some of the people that he deals with. I'm sure he has pillow talk with his wife, because she has, I don't understand. I never saw in the city charter where it says the wife has her own chief of staff. And it's beyond me. He has to lead. He has to understand that he is here to serve the public and the police and the first responders and all the other unions and all the other city workers. Everyone has to work together. It can't be what Mayor de Blasio wants it to be. It has to be a union of everyone working together.
All right, well, I want to ask you one last question. Authorities in Los Angeles say 2 officers were fired upon this weekend as they sat in their cruiser. A suspect is in custody, but as of yet, their motives remain unclear. Is this business as usual for police? This has happened now across the country. There have been several of these cases, especially in light of what happened to Officer Lou and Ramos.
Absolutely. It's like, a 55-gallon drum of ink, which is the media, is a lot more powerful than a 9mm gun. The reason why I say that, the word is getting out across the country, and there are people that do not like the police and figure that, oh, wow, they assassinated 2 cops in New York. Well, we can do it anywhere we want, and it doesn't discriminate. It does not discriminate where this can happen. And it has been happening in a lot of different states throughout the United States.
All right, Wally Zeins, we appreciate your insight. Once again, that meeting happening at 2 p.m. in Queens with the police union heads. We appreciate everything that you brought to the table today. Thanks so much for 30 years of service with the New York Police Department and appearing today on Midpoint. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wally. When we return, can Russia afford to continue to prop up a separatist government in Ukraine? That and more when Midpoint returns for a Tuesday afternoon. I'm Rick Blackwell in for Ed Berliner.